Closing arguments are expected today in the trial against an Arizona rancher charged with murdering a migrant who was on his property near the U.S.-Mexico border in 2023. He's 75 years old. His name is George Kelly. He's accused of second-degree murder for shooting and killing a 48-year-old migrant who lived just south of the border. The Arizona rancher's defense claims a cartel influence in the murder probe. Prosecutors accuse Kelly of firing an AK-47 rifle at a group of migrants last year. Kelly says that they were warning shots, that he shot up and fired in the air, and he did not shoot anyone intentionally. Several other migrants who were trespassing on Kelly's property the night of the shooting were unharmed, and they escaped back to Mexico. NewsNation's Allie Bradley spoke with Kelly about the trial.
Sheriff Hathaway was just finishing up testimony. How do you feel after that?
I'm very positive about the outcome.
Okay. And obviously the outcome we might learn by the end of the week, maybe as soon as tomorrow?
I'd say Friday, maybe my guess.
Okay, Friday. And now when it comes to the outcome, since this trial has started, do we feel like it's leaning more in your favor? Are you more worried or less worried as the trial progresses?
I'm very optimistic.
Well, we'll see. Dave Aronberg, state attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, joins us now. Should he be optimistic based on what has happened so far in this case?
Somewhat. I can't believe that he gave an interview while he's in the middle of a trial. That's a first, and his lawyers must be cringing, but didn't seem like he gave up the ghost. But good work from NewsNation to get him on camera. Yeah, he's part of a community that has had enough about the illegal migrants coming onto their property, and he's hoping for a sense of jury nullification, essentially, that despite the evidence, despite the law, that people just don't like our border policies, they don't like undocumented immigrants, and they may give this guy a pass. This is a very difficult case for prosecutors, even though if you just base it on the evidence and the law, I think he's guilty.
So one of the concerns from his defense team is this cartel influence on the trial. How does that play into all of this?
That's their theory. Since they couldn't find the bullet apparently passed through the victim and never was found, they're coming up with a theory, the defense is, that this was a cartel hit. This was a bunch of drug dealers who killed one of their own and then took off. And the victim is not around to tell his side of the story. You have some witnesses who said, no, that's ridiculous. But, you know, you're talking about people who may have engaged in drug dealing in the past, because there is evidence that there was drug dealing, drug smuggling going on across the border in that property. Now, the thing is that the defendant here shot 100 yards away. So even if there was some nefarious activity going on, you can't shoot at someone 100 yards away. That's not a threat to you. Plus, he keeps changing his stories. He shot in the air, he shot over their heads. And I think his own lies and his deception could come back to haunt him.
But there's forensic evidence, right? I mean, what have we learned through the evidence in the trial and the distance and the bullets and the trajectory? What have we seen?
Yeah, there's some dispute over whether the bullet could have come from this long gun 100 yards away, or was it possibly a shorter gun from close distance. That's the theory from the defense. So they've had these experts, and there's no gunpowder residue on the body, which tells you it came from far away. And that, to me, is key evidence that this bullet came from Mr. Kelly's gun. He admits he shot at them. There's no evidence of any other guns present. There was nothing else found at the scene. And so there is really nothing to say that this was a drug smuggling operation gone bad. But, you know, again, politics is going to come into play here, and you can't avoid it. And that may lead to at least one juror having some reasonable doubt, and that's a hung jury.
Yeah, and what he will say and has said is he felt threatened and had in the past on his private property. Dave, thank you, as always. Nice to see you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.